was this moment in the Anelda End of Life Doula training that I took with you when you were explaining to our group, our cohort of around 25 people from around the world, and you were sharing this idea of breath and breath at birth and breath at death and end of life. And it stuck with me so much. Can you share that a little bit about the rhythms and the shifting of breath and how it relates at these two thresholds?
Yeah, I would love to. It's something I want to actually, someday when I'm retired, write like a book about it. And how it, for me, kind of symbolizes so much of the meaning of life. But in any case, um, yes, so now I'll share a little bit of the backstory of it. Is that for a 2-year period, I was able to work part-time as a labor and delivery nurse and part-time as a hospice nurse, which meant that I was doing both of those jobs 1 day a week. So I really was literally, at births on a Monday and then at deaths on Wednesday, people that were actively birthing and actively dying. So it really gave me this very interesting comparison between them. And one of the things that became very apparent to me that really just revealed itself so beautifully was how important paying attention to rhythm is in both of those realms. And so, even so, my mentor, Penny Simkin, she has a concept called rhythm, ritual, and relaxation, which just means that when you're supporting someone in labor, you want to be mindful of trying to support them to find a rhythm. But what I've found as a birth worker is that birthing people will find a rhythm. They almost cannot not be in a rhythm, because the more that someone gets into active labor, the more their breathing becomes rhythmic, the more their body movements become rhythmic. There's like a sway, there's a moan, there's a breathing that becomes like a metronome. And in many ways, it gets sort of more intense of a rhythm, more intense of a rhythm. The rhythm gets shorter together. I don't know if that makes sense, shorter together, but the um, yes, it increases in intensity. The rhythm increases, and at the peak of the intensity of the rhythm is then when the baby is born. So in many ways, rhythm is this essential part of giving birth to a human life. And then on the other side of the coin, what I was seeing in my clients as they were progressing in their death journey was that they were experiencing a lack of rhythm. And pardon me. And I saw that in their body movements became irregular, less rhythm. I saw that in their speech became irregular, less rhythmic. So all of us that are healthy now, we breathe in, we breathe out, we breathe in, we breathe out. But when you get closer to your final days or even your final hours, you start having these periods of not breathing, and then rapid breathing, and then shallow breathing, and then not breathing. And it's all irregular. Like there's no pattern to that. So, and then in many ways, the changes in the breath are one of the things that indicate for a hospice nurse, okay, I think we're in like the hours before death. I think that we're in the realm of the final hours for this human life. And it really revealed itself to me that it was this overall lack of rhythm, but in a very pronounced way. Breath was sort of like the quintessential thing that I noticed in both realms, in birth and at the end of life.